Going on. Okay. Gather round, gather round. Lot to talk about today. Got a lot on my mind. Thank you for taking the time. Let's see. Everything ready to go. I think we're good. Hopefully not too many bouts of embarrassment. Blue State Rob, where you been, Blue State Rob?
Hey, this is Blue State Rob, and you're listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast, a show hosted by a liberal Republican whose ancestry dates back to the small country of Armenia and fueled by bouts of anxiety and adult attention hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD. It's not the best, but still better than radio. Anyway, here's your host, Eric Zane.
Eric Zane. Thank you, Rob. This is Jimmy Stinson and his band of hippies. Listen to Jimmy go. Listen to it. It's funky, man. Very, very good. A lot of very talented audience members. Very, very talented. Much more talented than your old pal Eric Zane. The show comes to you as it does every weekday at about the same time from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. Baldwin Ace Hardware, a beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland of the great state of Michigan, USA. Okay. Thanks for being part of this. If you ever want to get the show live as it happens, again, roughly 8 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. By the way, as I'm doing this, I'm like reaching down. Like, what are you doing, Zane? You petting the dog? No. You ever not put any lotion on your body, and then your skin gets dry as a bone, and you're all ashy and stupid? And you just sit there and itch your leg till it bleeds. That's where I'm at right now. And I try to make up for it all with one application of lotion. Diana's got this hemp powered lotion, costs $5,000. And I put half the bottle in my hand and just coat my legs. And then it feels like I actually soaked my legs in Crisco for while I'm trying to fall asleep. And now it's back. It's got. I mean, you can't do it all at once. Oh God, this is agony. Oh, terrible. So anyway, where was I? This show live Facebook every single morning. Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. If you would, could you like it and share it? That would be very, very helpful. Thank you so much. The Facebook live stream is brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. We are on Twitter as well, a Periscope video at Eric Zane Show on Twitter. And that is brought to you by Blue Frost IT. If you could retweet it with a snarky comment, thank you very much. And then on YouTube, find us if you search Eric Zane Show on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and then a thumbs up would be cool. I'm on Instagram, Eric Zane Show on Instagram as well. And as always, reach me via email, eric@ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. One more that I forgot to mention, the Instagram page is brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. All right, now before we get started in earnest, if you ever want to download the show, just the audio, it's available on all podcast platforms pretty much. I prefer Apple Podcasts. If you would, subscribe to it. And 5 stars, leave a review. And all that stuff. Subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you. Okay. As the weekend got started Friday, we did the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. And it was another eventful time. Man, loved it. We had the live audience there. Thanks again for people who showed up. I appreciate that. I think I'm still missing people as to who to invite. And I need to just establish a list So as always, send me an email if you want to be included on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Audience Zoom portion of it. So we have people come in and kind of just sit there, and so we talk to some of you. It's a great time. It's a lot of fun, and we talked about a number of things. Amanda played Bet on Ben. You'll hear how that goes. Plus, Ben is at a real crossroads when it comes to comedy. And I don't know how this guy keeps doing it because zero confidence, zero laughs. What the hell? So, we're trying to encourage him, but he is just bitching up a storm about his lack of ability. He claims he has gone backwards and actually regressed in his efforts to become a stand-up comedian. Show note for this week. Friday, I have a hockey game. So I said to Ben, I go, all right, let's do it Thursday. He goes, no, I can't. I've got stand-up. He's actually going out for another bombing. So what? I'm like, oh, shit. Well, all right, it's starting to get wonky. Let's just punt till next week. So just so you know, Ben and Eric Patreon podcast is going to be skipped this coming week, just so you know. All right. Update. My daughter, negative on the COVID. She's just like, I just felt a little weird, wanted to take a test. I had some guy reach out to me this is another example of people not being able to mind their own business. That's what I mean by this. Gentleman was listening to boy, Daisy is snoring so loud and she's right by me. Hold on a second here. It's actually hurting my ears. Come on. Let's go. Let's go over here, honey. Let's come up here. Yeah. That's a girl. That's a big girl. All right. Yeah. Just right in my face. Gentleman was listening to the podcast. He must have, because the only way to get this information was to have listened to it. And it was when I published Eric Zane Show Podcast 577, Stu's Struggles, my expert NFL draft coverage, and more. John K., not from Steppenwolf. In that podcast, I talked about how Madison said, hey, I'm going to get a COVID test. And John writes, don't have your daughter get tested for sniffles and a sore throat. And my first thought was, I don't think that's a decision for me, or definitely not you. Madison's an adult, and so I kind of let Madison make decisions on that thing. And I guess more in depth, what does that do? Why is that a problem? To go get a test? Is that a problem? I don't even know. And so I wrote to the guy. I figured he was just starting trouble. And no disrespect, but it seems like people who have University of Michigan logos on as their avatar on Twitter, for some reason, they more often than not, I get more people causing trouble who like the maize and blue, and I don't know why that is. It's really interesting to me. I'm just saying that as an observation, not even to be a dick. So I know this guy's up to no good, but I'm like, all right, I'll let you do the talking. I'll play dumb. So he says, don't have your daughter get tested for sniffles and a sore throat. And I wrote, is that a no-no? And then he reveals himself with, why contribute towards witless's wishes? He's referring to the governor. And I'm like, well, I don't think that has anything to do with it at all. And I wrote, I'm confused. Why is getting a COVID test bad? Help me out here. And then he just gives up. He actually starts it all with, don't have your daughter get tested for sniffles and a sore throat. And I just ask him a couple of basic questions, and he gives up and does not. I mean, if you're going to go down that road with someone, you better damn well be ready to explain yourself And that's part of the struggles with online communication with people. They're behind their name or their fake name or whatever it may be. They have the ability to just burst into people's lives like that and say, no, this is the way you should do it, man. It's like, I don't think I'm going to take my advice from John, the Maize and Blue fan, who, and if you're like me, you always go and look at what these people post. And then, every single post, every single tweet or whatever it is all political. It's just a nightmare. It's like, dude, you gotta lighten up. You've just gotta lighten up. Seriously. Go enjoy the day. Stop spending all of your time trying to do whatever it is you're doing here. What's the fucking point of that? That is not living, man. So I let it go. I didn't want to rile them up. I just wasn't in the mood to fight. Big frustration around the Eric Zane Show podcast household yesterday. And oh my God. This is what I'm referring to. I worked my ass off preparing a meal that I was convinced was going to be amazing. And the only reason why I said that is because I was basically ripping off everything that Gordon Ramsay does. Seriously, what he can do in a kitchen is pretty damn good. So if Gordon Ramsay is giving me advice on what to do as what to do, I'm going to take it, and it's going to be awesome. The one thing that I have the ability to do, and that is take direction and just try to mimic exactly what I'm seeing when it comes to making food. If it's just a printed out article or something online that I'm reading, I'm going to try to follow it as best I can, maybe tailor it somewhat to the equipment I'm using here at the house or my own personal preferences. But for the most part, it usually turns out. Except the final thing that I had to do turned into trouble. And I have had it. For 1 year, I have been cooking on a charcoal grill. A Weber kettle deal, and you load it up with charcoal. And I for the longest time, I have been cooking with gas. All right. And about a year ago, we switched to charcoal. I got that Weber as a Father's Day gift. And I have made zero progress in trying to figure that thing out. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I suck so bad at this. Every time I cook on this thing, it's a shit show. And I'm not learning anything. I just keep making the same mistakes, and I cannot figure out what the hell is up. And I got to a point where last night, I was like, after I ruined another meal, that I was like, okay, I'm waving the white flag. I just can't deal with this. Okay. When it comes to the recipe, this was going to be so great. In the back of my mind, I'm saying, you know what? You're going to screw this up because of the grill, but I tried anyway. You don't just take one type of meat from what this recipe, and you know what? I'm going to link it up. It's a video recipe. I'll put it in the show notes of this podcast. It's Gordon Ramsay. He's in his backyard being all braggy. He goes, I tell you, I cook here in the backyard, and Stevie Wonder, he gets all he lives next to Stevie Wonder and what's her name? Kim Kardashian. He's bragging about that shit, about how everybody loses their mind when he starts cooking. Okay. So the way he describes this is for your hamburger, you can't just have one type of meat. He combines chuck, sirloin, and brisket ground. Okay. So, and then you crack an egg and you beat it and you put it in there and you mix it all up. And so I do that. I take off my ring, get my hands in there, and I'm just blending all this meat. Okay. Awesome. I've got a hamburger press. Make the hamburgers. The meat must be freaking room temperature. So it cannot be cold because, as Gordon says, you put cold meat onto a hot grill. It's going to dry out the outside and the inside will be raw. So I'm like, I got this, Gordon. I got this. And he's talking about how important the seasoning is. And I'm like, I'm all about that. Absolutely. So pepper with a grinder, sea salt, Salt Bay, sea salt all over them. Flip it over, same thing. And then the edges, because my burgers are like an inch thick. And then you have to roll the edges of the burgers on the cookie pan that you've got the where the excess seasoning is landed. You actually seasoning the edge of the burgers. This is Gordon's big thing. If you don't season the food, it's going to taste like shit. Then you wipe it with spread a little olive oil on both sides. And then the key is, there's a lot of keys in this, is like for the onion, you have to cut the onions thick, and it's almost like they're a patty, the entire layer of the onion. And then you oil that too. You season that too. And this is all going to go on the grill. So you have like cooked onions that are going to then be separated when it's time to build the burger. And then off you go. So I am stoked. I'm like, this is great. And I've got the meat looks perfect, seasoned awesomely. I'm so happy with how this is looking. I've got all the condiments ready to go. I've got the sides made. I got the cubed potatoes, almost like hash browns that I've cooked myself. I've got the corn on the cob ready to go. Now it's just time to cook the burgers. Now, all right, here's where it gets weird. I cannot keep the grill gets too hot. And is it as simple as just less charcoal? I don't know. I put the damn lid on it, and I preheat the grill, and then I knew I was in trouble because the grill, I would probably want it maybe 400, 450 degrees. It has gone all the way around past 600 and is back to 100. It's wound all the way. It's a 700-degree grill. Now, Gordon says, you need this grill piping hot. I'm going to stop doing an impression of Gordon Ramsay. It's embarrassing. And I'm like, well, do I want it this hot? And I go, well, I don't know. And now if I leave the lid off of it, it's going to flame up. And the meat's going to, the fire's going to consume it, okay? It's going to be like a burning cow on the grill. So I go, all right, here we go. So I put the food on there along with some people want some brats. So those are on there too. I put the lid on. It's supposed to be 3.5, 4 minutes per side, and then you're done. 45 seconds later, I decided to take a look, which I probably shouldn't have, but it turned out to be a good thing because, they were completely burnt on one side. Nothing I could do. Flip them over. Same thing. Brats are burnt. Meat's burnt. Meat's dry. Everything's shit. I take the food off. I'm like, oh, fuck. This is going to be bad. Gordon says to toast the buns on the grill. Now, I don't know why I thought that this was a good idea. I should have just either skipped that process or browned them in the frickin' toaster would have been a better option. I put the buns on, and within 5 seconds, they're all completely engulfed in flames. And I'm like, holy shit. I take those off, throw those away. Now we don't even have enough buns. It's an absolute shit show. And then the patties are like hockey pucks at this point. And I've put all this time and energy into it, and it just came, and I'm just so frustrated. And I'm like, well, maybe no one will notice that this is all shit. And people are biting into their food, and it's so dry, and you can. It sounds like they're eating Captain Crunch. Okay, it's the worst. I'm like, I fuck this thing up. And then I noticed that as time, I'm trying to look at everybody's plates, and everybody's picking out on their corn. They ate their potatoes. The hamburgers eat on average 1.5 bites out of each burger. I'm like, oh God, I'm just complete failure. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm like, no, it's bad. Damn it. So I actually said, I go, all right, I am going to wave the white flag on this grill. I've had it with this grill. I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and go back to gas because I suck. I am sick and tired at ruining meals on this son of a bitchin' grill. And the thing is, I used to cook charcoal all the time, and it's like I've forgotten how to do it. I actually still to this minute don't know what I'm doing wrong. Too much charcoal? That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know how to knock that temperature down. It gets too damn hot. Do I have to wait longer for them to burn out, for the temperature to drop a little? I have no idea. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I would love to get some input on this, or I'm just going to take the grill and throw it away. Try cooking with the lid open next time. Yeah, I was considering that, but then with the grill open, the flame kicks up, you know? Close the vents. Yeah, I tried that too, but then the meat gets almost like wet. You know, it's like there's it almost like it extinguishes the coals. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? You open it up and the plumes of smoke open up in there and pour out of there. I can't. I'm just struggling. I need more expertise, time. I don't know, preparation. Terry says a pellet grill is the way to go. I have no idea what that is. Get a Blackstone griddle. I've heard about those things. I've heard those are awesome. Man. Nick says vent it and let the coals go to a nice ash color and monitor the temp with an electric thermometer. Well, I got a thermometer and it usually says 700 degrees. Need to adjust the coals, create zones. All right, this is all good. I appreciate that. Back to the drawing board. The sweet spot is 375 degrees to 400. I was at 700 degrees. Nathan says roll with a smoker. Low heat, longer cook. Yeah, I don't want to smoke my hamburger. Tio says Americans use propane. Shit, was that frustrating. I spent a lot of time on that trying to make that happen. Real frustration. The day before, your old pal Eric Zane, the hustle and grind continued with a long, long day of driving limo. Okay, so I left the garage on Saturday at noon. And I had a 1 p.m. pickup. And then there was the first job, drop these folks off, clean the limo. Okay, let me back up. Pick these people up. You got 3 couples. One dude, birthday. So, all right, no big deal. This is easy. They wanted to go do a brewery tour, which I've done these before. There's breweries everywhere you go around Michigan. You travel 5 feet and you're going to be at a brewery. We go to one. I sit there, watch some Netflix. That was basically the day. Park Netflix, and wait till you hear what I watched. Oh my God, I cannot wait to talk about this. So these folks go to 3 different breweries. They were awesome. Dropped them off appropriately. They gave me an awesome tip, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a great start. Even if I get $0 made on the second tip, it's going to be awesome. But so then I head back to the garage, clean the damn limo, shine up the tires, load it up with more ice, and off we go. Second job. Pick these ladies up at 6:30. All right, this is where the night gets a hell of a lot more interesting, kind of. Pick up these ladies, and so I'm expecting, there's certain things you have to expect with ladies at a part of a bachelorette party. They first thing is they're going to play that song by Cardi B, WAP, 8 million times. And that did not let me down. Within minutes after we started driving down the road, you hear, there's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house. Certified freak. Something days a week. Something, make that pull-out game weak. I actually know the words to the song. And a little bit about that song, and I've talked about this before. It is absolutely phenomenal, the effect that song has on your old pal Eric Zane. First of all, it's the idea that, okay, if I am in a car full of dudes, we're at let's say it's a bachelor party, and let's say I was younger and drank and was an idiot, and the person driving the vehicle was a lady, an old lady. Like, I'm an old man. These are young women in the car, and let's just reverse the whole thing. Car full of dudes, me in that spot with a old lady driving. If we started playing 2 Live Crew, Me So Horny, I would be mortified. I would be like, oh, guys, seriously, I'm not comfortable with this at all. I mean, mixed company. I mean, where she's 5 feet away. There's nothing blocking the sound. It's just fucked. I would not feel good about that. But women do not give a shit. Women are worse than dudes. So this nasty ass song, which I don't have any real problem with the song. It's just, it makes me fucking blush. It is so Cardi B, the aggressive nature of the sexuality on display in that song makes me go, oh, fuck, I just cannot handle it. It's rough. It's so damn rough. I cannot, if Diana was like that aggressive, I would be like, look, this is not going to work. This is just, I can't handle it. It's too uncomfortable for me. But they just sit there and blast this song. Every minute that they're in the car, they're like, let's roll it again. Let's roll it again. And just, it's alarming. If you are a single guy these days, and I think that it's because of people like Cardi B, that younger women are probably a lot more sexually aggressive than 25 years ago because of things like this influencing the culture. Young women are like, oh, I guess I got to be really, really aggressive sexually and tell my man to rub it in there like he's swiping a credit card. Use his nose to, oh, God. Fuck. And the words just make me blush. Son of a bitch. So I'm sitting there, and then one of the ladies says, hey, Eric, do you like Cardi B? And I go, yeah, this is great. Yeah, she's talking about your pussy. Yeah, sweet. All right. It's awful. Shit. So I take them to this very, very popular bar downtown where people, it's just usually a line out the door. It's called the Grand Woods. Drop these ladies off there. And then I go and I park and I sit for 4 hours. 4 hours I sat right near the place waiting. And so I had a little time to kill. I'll tell you what I watched in just a second. But then it comes time to pick these ladies up. The limo is going to turn back into a pumpkin at midnight. That's when I drop them off. And before they got out of the car, they go, hey, you want to come in and have and eat with us? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I should do. And I go, no, that's okay. I brought my lunch. And I've got my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, my Netflix, my water bottle. I'm sitting there parked watching all the drunks act like idiots downtown Grand Rapids. And then, pick these people up. Now, there's several dudes now who they have been talking with. The ladies who are single at this event. And the guys now want in the car. So I pick them up, and the ladies get in, and these guys want to get in and have sex with them in the back of the limo. And the ladies are like, no, that's one of them actually wanted the guy to come in, but I was like, no, this is girls only party, girls. So these dudes are trying to get into the car, and then there's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes. They start playing the song. Everybody loses their mind. It's a big, big hit. So off we go. And then we just drove around. They just said, oh yeah, we got a little time left. Let's just drive around, drop us off. Did that. They busted. This is the best. You get women who are horny and drunk. They throw piles of money at you. It is ridiculous. And I'm like, holy shit. The first tip I got was awesome. This one was better than the first one. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What a great night. In bed, a little after 1 a.m., that's it. Okay. But the thing that happened that was really on my mind was none of that. It was what I watched on Netflix. I happened to discover a documentary. Now, my knowledge of this was, I didn't know anything about this. And what it is White Boy Rick. is the subject of this documentary. Now, there's two things that have come out in recent years. In 2017, this documentary just called White Boy came out. And this is a lot of eyewitness reports, people who know this guy, and I'll explain what's going on in a second. And then the following year, 2018, Matthew McConaughey starred in a movie called White Boy Rick. Now, this all took place 9.8 miles, I measured it out, from where I grew up. White Boy Rick was born less than 1 year before me in Detroit, Michigan. Okay? I grew up in Warren, Michigan. I actually, this is the latest thing. I'm so consumed by this. This is the latest thing that I'm all in on. When I'm interested in something, I consume as much information I can about it, just because I just can't get enough. And one of the things that gets me the most intrigued always are stories like this. This is similar in the outrage to how it affected me as like Making a Murderer. When I was watching Making a Murderer, you know, you have that episode after episode of things that make you go, oh my God, I cannot believe this. And it's really, really compelling. That's what this story is, but it's a 90-minute documentary. I think the only reason why I didn't really wasn't familiar with the story at all, and considering I grew up right there, all right, is because the story all started to unfold after I left Warren for Mount Pleasant, okay, to go to college. And I was there. In fact, I think I spent the first year there, and then the summer I came back, and then I never went back home. So that might be why I was so naive about this story. I had no idea of White Boy Rick. If someone said to me, White Boy Rick, what do you know about that? And I said, white guy, Detroit, drugs? I don't know. And that's all I knew. Holy shit. So I just started watching the documentary, and my God. Oh, incredible. So just in a nutshell, I don't want to spoil everything for you, but I am going to get into this a little bit. At the same time that I was growing up, Rick Wershey Jr. was growing up in a neighborhood that's 9.8 miles from your old pal Eric Zane. Richard Wershey Jr.'s dad is kind of like a hustler and almost like, well, I guess he was an inventor. He held a bunch of patents, and he had he would sell guns at a gun store and at gun shows. And he had the ability to not only manufacture, but get people things that they shouldn't have, like silencers and shit like that. So he started to associate Richard Wershey Sr. with various people in the Detroit underworld who would deal drugs, specifically the Curry boys. And Detroit was broken into certain areas where drug dealers would operate, and they try not to overlap with each other. And so that was it. That's where the city was growing in the 1980s. Wershey Sr. Does have some connection with these drug gangs. And he gets handpicked by federal authorities, and they ask him if he wants to be an informant. And he says, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And so he's ratting on people who have weapons that they shouldn't have. And I don't know if that happened because the feds had something on Richard Wershey Sr. and wanted to get rid of him, or knew that he was up to no good. And, hey, you either go to jail or you rat out these people. Well, during the course of the time that the feds are talking to Richard Wershey Sr., occasionally the meetups at like a restaurant, Senior would bring his son, Richard Wershey Jr., who would go on to become known as White Boy Rick. By the way, he did not give himself that name. The other drug dealers did. Because Junior became friends with one of the brothers, the younger brothers of the drug dealers. Because Senior would work with little boy Curry and would sell him drugs. And then the younger brother would hang out with Richard Wershey Jr. So they go play Army, ride bikes. And so at 14 years old, when the feds are asking about, things with these drug dealers, Junior is providing information. He's like, oh, yeah, well, that's so-and-so. That's so-and-so. So then the feds realize that Junior has more knowledge about the drug dealers than Senior, 14-year-old kid. Behind his dad's back, Junior becomes the youngest federal informant ever. Okay. At 14 years old, he is ratting out drug lords in Detroit. And he doesn't tell anybody. Somehow this kid has enough street sense to not say a word. And the feds are being very cautious about interacting with him. And so over a period of like 2 years, Wershey Jr. Helps take down dozens of these Detroit gang members who are dealing drugs. Okay, now that's fucked up. The fact that the feds at all costs are putting this young kid at risk and doing this to him. Think about that. Can you imagine if your 14-year-old kid behind your back? I mean, Senior wasn't an angel, so I guess it's kind of all in this weird world. But my God, okay, so that's fucked. That all happens, and then at one point, and they're paying him. They're paying him a lot of money, and Wershey Jr. says he made about $35,000 with the feds. This is incredible. This is all without anybody even knowing. And then they stopped calling him after they busted all the people that they wanted to bust. And they didn't do anything with him. They just ignored him from that point. Wershey Jr. suddenly is like, boy, man. And he's like used to the lifestyle of having money. And he has an encyclopedic knowledge of how to deal drugs. He starts dealing drugs himself. He's got all these underworld people who don't know that he's done anything wrong. Shit. And there was one point prior to him becoming a drug dealer that they thought he was a rat. And so they one of the members of this gang shot him right in the stomach. And he did not die, but he was badly hurt. And he didn't rat on anybody. So the feds are at the hospital. And they're like, what do we do with this kid? Do we let him loose out of this? Do we continue? And so they came up with the idea that because he had been shot, if he keeps his mouth shut, it's going to look even more credible. And he did. He didn't say shit. He got half of his intestine blown out of his back, and he kept his mouth shut. No one has any idea that he's an informant. This continues. Okay, so when the Fed stopped calling him, he's like, fuck, I need money. He starts dealing drugs. For 1 year, he deals drugs, and then he ends up getting popped with 8 kilos of cocaine, and he gets sent to prison. And it was completely fucked. There is about 1 million and other things that make this story even more fucked. It involves some really, really corrupt characters, including the mayor of Detroit, who was as dirty as they come, but never was ever charged with anything. Mayor Coleman Young, that guy's a piece of shit. Wait till you hear this. The leader of the drug gang, Little Boy Curry, his girlfriend was Mayor Coleman Young's niece. And Coleman Young turned a blind eye to this entire drug gang and even put a police detail on his niece, Kathy Volson, to keep her safe, and did nothing to stop the whole drug trade in Detroit. It was ridiculous. As this passes, you remember the film Beverly Hills Cop? And you remember the Detective Todd, who Eddie Murphy would answer to? That was Gil Hill, who was in charge of homicide in Detroit during the 1980s. And he got handpicked to do this role because Foley, what the fuck are you doing? You know, he was pretty damn good in the as Inspector Todd. And that film took place in Detroit, and they thought it would just add to the credibility of the film to bring that guy in. Well, he was as dirty as they come too, according to this. Well, at least the eyewitnesses that were in this documentary. My God, there's a hitman in Detroit by the name of I forget his name, but he was featured in this documentary. He's describing how his interactions with Gil Hill, the dude from Beverly Hills Cop, And Gil Hill wanted White Boy Rick dead. And he actually put a hit out on him. And this dude, this hitman who admitted to killing 30 people in his life, went to prison for a long time. He said, "Oh yeah, I had a $125,000 offer to kill him, and he tried to do it twice but failed." And this hitman is featured in this documentary talking about how they need to. He's like, they need to free White Boy Rick. So this was, oh my God, you have to watch this. And it's not White Boy Rick, the one with Matthew McConaughey, because a lot of people say that movie sucked. It was a bomb at the box office, but the documentary, just called White Boy, it's on Netflix right now, and it is so damn good. I was so consumed with this that then I was looking on the Apple Podcasts app, and there's a former Channel 4 newsman in Detroit, WDIV, The Defenders, named Kevin Dietz. Kevin Dietz did 4 seasons of an audio podcast called Shattered, and season 2 is about this exact thing. Each episode's about 30 minutes long. I listened to all 8 episodes just like that. I mean, it was, I just burned right through it. I've given you a lot of the details, but it's still absolutely imperative that you watch it. And I'm not, you're like, is he still in prison? Is he still in prison? Yeah, I'll even tell you that too. So if you don't want a spoiler, shut this off now. He finally, okay, the reason why he was put in prison, first of all, for life, was it was during the war on drugs. And Michigan's law was if you had more than 650 grams of cocaine, you get a mandatory life in prison sentence. And that's crazy, a nonviolent crime like that to get life in prison. And it did nothing to, what do you call it? Be a deterrent at all. And so he's got 8 kilos of cocaine. Holy shit. And so they gave him, at 17 years old, he got life in prison. So then more and more time passed. They're trying to get him out, and the issues with all the things to convict him. And then they actually changed the law in Michigan. And there was a judge that wanted to re-sentence him. But everywhere people turned, there was someone in Detroit trying to cock block the maneuver. Kim Worthy, the prosecutor at the time, Gil Hill. These are all people who wanted Wershey locked up for a long, long time. And when they told the story of Wershey, the news media made it seem like he was a drug kingpin. And he wasn't. He was just a kid trying to make money to buy cars and shit like that. He was a low-level dealer, okay? A kingpin was like the people that he would get the drugs from. But the media loved the idea of white kid doing, the only white kid, doing this job. He looked like any kid's and any family's nerd white kid, just trying to go to school. But so there was some real tantalizing nature to the story. Then finally, when the hitman came out and said that Gil Hill tried to hire him, that's when Kim Worthy changed her tune and did not get in the way of him making parole. And then he finally made parole, but then he had to complete 5 years of prison in Florida because the dumbass was involved in a scam car theft ring from behind prison walls. So then he had to spend nearly 5 more years in prison in Florida. He got out in July of 2020. He's living in Detroit, and oh God, I was maddened by the level of craziness. I think the thing about Richard Wershey Jr. and White Boy Rick, that whole story, is how corrupt it is. It's obviously corrupt in that if someone really wants to, if the system is corrupt as it is, wants to put somebody behind bars, they will do that and keep them behind bars. It is insane. What happened? Is this guy a saint? No, he doesn't. He admits that. He says, "Oh yeah, I should have definitely have gone to prison, but they're rapists and killers." Hell, the hitman got 17 years. The hitman who admitted to killing 30 people in this whole thing, he got 17. Rick spent like over 30 years behind bars. Side note, the guy who made that documentary, Kevin Dietz, I remember talking about this. He ended up losing his job with Channel 4 because it was a cancellation. He made a Facebook joke a few years ago about he was at like some newsman's conference, and there was a lot of talk about black people being underrepresented in news media. That was like the subject matter that they were discussing. And they took a picture of all the different news people. Kevin Dietz was in it, and there was a black guy in it. And Kevin made the joke, hey, we're going to need to crop the black guy out of this picture. And everybody got a big laugh. And contextually, it made sense, the joke. But the wrong people heard about it, and they fired him. And it was terrible because he was like in Detroit on TV for years, like 30 years, and they just blew him out. And the guy who was the butt of the joke, the black guy, he goes, oh, no. Contextually, that was actually a good joke, and it was no problem. Believe me, that is no problem. Kevin is not like that. And despite the black guy saying that, they still fucking fired him. So he was out, and he, I guess, just wound up on TV again recently. It was another a TV station in the Detroit area that put him on. But, man, I cannot get enough of White Boy Rick. And so much so that I want to reach out to Dietz and get him on the podcast. Rick apparently, like I said, lives in back where he lived pretty much, and works with, I think he has a job working about rights for prisoners or something like that. He has a master's degree on this stuff, obviously, having spent 30 plus years behind bars. But my God, wow, what a story. All right. Hey, don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up. It is May 9th. It is less than 1 week away, Mother's Day. And if you would like me to have a word with your mother telling her how amazing she is, hire me on Cameo, cameo.com/Eric Zane. For mom or the mother of your kids, cameo.com/Eric Zane, either on your desktop, laptop, or the Cameo app. If you hire me through any other app, they really, really gouge the price on me. So, if you do it through the Cameo app, it's like I get like $11 of that. So that's cool. You use any other app, I'm going to get like $8. It's embarrassing. And it's only $15.99 for me on Cameo. I'm the best at it and the cheapest. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. You may have noticed as I've been talking that I cannot stop. I've got a massive, massive itching issue with dry skin. And I did not put the frickin' lotion on this morning. So now I am in absolute agony. I can barely concentrate. If I get this show done without throwing myself out of the window, it'll be an absolute miracle. Okay. A word from my friends at Gift of Life, Michigan. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak about your great initiatives. If there's one thing you have to do, it is make sure that you are registered to be an organ donor if anything happens to you, because you can't take it with you, and it would be just a fantastic gift if you left somebody who is in need and on their deathbed and just trying to live their life normally. If you donated a liver, lungs, heart, kidneys, tissue, corneas, you can save 8 lives and greatly improve the lives of 75 others if you are registered in the state of Michigan Organ Donor Registry, or wherever your state is, whatever state you're listening from or watching from. Do that. Thank you to Gift of Life Michigan for incorporating me into getting the word out. Thank you so much. If you need more information about them, click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com and off you go. My friends at Cornhole America. How about this? You go to cornholeamerica.com and buy yourself a set of boards. You're going to love this. You're going to have so much fun. A professional grade set of boards. All right? Yes, they are a little bit more expensive. Yes, they will last you forever. Yes, you can get anything, and I mean anything, onto a set of cornhole boards. Any design that you want. Okay? Do you have an outdoor wedding coming up? Get a few sets of boards. Your guests are going to be loving that as they sit there with their shirts untucked, a cigar in one hand, maybe a drink in the other. Set down the drink, throw some bags. Think about Cornhole America for something like that. Or if you have a fundraiser that you'd like more information about how to do that, just reach out to them at cornholeamerica.com. Okay, we got to talk about Josh Duggar. Ooh, boy. You remember the Duggar family? They had like 8 million kids, and then they did like a reality show. I remember when I was on the radio, we interviewed, is it Jim Bob? The patriarch of the family, the dad. The husband and wife had like 24 kids or something like that. They made a reality show. What I remember of that is I remember the dad being extra nice, friendly. They're super religious. I remember on their show there was one episode because the ladies wear only denim long dresses down to their ankle. The men cannot wear shorts; they have to wear jeans, and that stands out to me. And in the one episode, they're like running a 5K, and the whole family's running the 5K in jeans because of religious observances or something like that. So extremely conservative. It was described as if because they would all hang out as a group, the entire family. Okay, when they were walking through like an amusement park, if there was an attractive woman walking towards them, one of the family members, either the dad or the mom or something like that, would say a code word, Armageddon, or something like that, and they would all the men would avert their gaze. I mean, it's that you don't want any temptation whatsoever. They're that staunch in what they believe in. I mean, it's that type of tightly wound thing. Super nice. I mean, I enjoyed talking to the guy, but it's definitely something that it's probably the extreme of being conservative and ultra uber religious. 19 kids and counting, the name of the show, which I think that my pal up here in Rockford, what the hell's his name? Schwantz. Doesn't he have like 19 kids? I hope they don't have any issue like this. I sincerely hope not. I don't think so. But the comparisons, I hope, stop with the number of kids. Josh Duggar is the oldest one of this group. And I'm going to show you the mugshot here. You know, if you have this look on your face, this is just the look of a pedo, okay? Oh, my God. You picture that guy working with me on WBBL. I mean, that is a look of a dude who's into kids right there. You see that, and you're like, yeah, there's no doubt. They should have just arrested him before they even had any evidence. But they took their time on this one. Now, here's the thing. Josh Duggar, the oldest of the Duggar families, 33, he has had numerous issues in the past. And, okay. In mid-May 2015, he apologized for his wrongdoing after a police report surfaced that he had been investigated as a teenager for inappropriately touching 5 underage girls. That's nearly an identical story to the guy I used to work with on BBL. Except the guy I used to work with on BBL, it was boys. It was a neighbor. And 2 of the girls that he touched were his sisters. Now 25-year-old Jill and 24-year-old Jessa. They stepped forward as 2 of Josh Duggar's victims. So that's just crazy. And so he... But that was like when he was a teenager, so that's kind of like a lot of time had passed when that all unfolded. Again, it surfaced in 2015, but it didn't. It happened like many years prior, 9 years prior in 2006. Okay, so at this point the whole reality thing is crumbling. Then in August of 2015, Gawker reported that the oldest Duggar son appeared to have active accounts on Ashley Madison. You remember that website made to facilitate cheating on your spouse? By the way, side note, back in the Freeburn Hot Wings days, Ashley Madison said, hey, we want to advertise on the show. And we were all about money. And we actually said, no, we can't do that. Are you kidding me? How the hell do you expect three guys, three family men to say, "Hey, you want to go cheat on your wife? Hey, here we are. Here's Eric, the good Catholic. Hey, if you ever want to cheat on your fucking wife, here you go." We absolutely turned that one down. Josh ultimately confessed to having a porno addiction and cheating on his wife, Anna, in an apologetic statement on the Duggar family website. Now, as far as apologies go, I think this one's pretty good back in 2015. Josh said, "I have been the biggest hypocrite ever." Good start. "While espousing faith and family values, I have secretly, over the last several years, been viewing pornography on the internet." Now, a lot of you are like, whatever. "And this became a secret addiction, and I became unfaithful to my wife. I am so ashamed of the double life that I have been living, and I am grieved for the hurt, pain, and disgrace my sin has caused my wife and family, and most of all, Jesus and all those who profess faith in him," the statement read. That's a great apology. Now, if you never do anything again and you continue to work on the problems you have and take care of your side of the street, I think you can emerge from this. I really do. That's not all, though. Most recently, he faced a real estate lawsuit in 2019. In September of that year, KARK.com reported that a 3-day jury trial is set for Josh, who is accused of fraud and is being sued for quiet title and breaching a contract, according to court records. Josh's place of employment, an Arkansas car dealership, was also previously raided by Homeland Security as part of an ongoing federal investigation in November of 2019. Various outlets had previously reported that Homeland Security had raided the Duggar family home, which they denied. Can you imagine being the dad? You know, all you want to do is live a good life. You got a lot of kids, a biblical number of kids. You know, you're able to make a little cash being a good guy, and your oldest kid is a complete asshole. "We were shocked to see a news report today state that our home was raided by federal law enforcement agencies. This is not true." All right, so you're thinking, oh, maybe that's not true. He was arrested last week, and the arrest comes days before his wife announced that she and Josh are expecting their seventh child together, a baby girl. So what is Josh Duggar up to? Because first he was arrested and nobody knew what was going on. Well, here you go. The details have emerged. He was charged with receiving and possessing material depicting the sexual abuse of children. So apparently he hasn't learned his lesson. If convicted on the child, this is why people... You got to look waywardly at anybody who does this. I think you keep a more wayward eye on the rapist, the child rapist, than you do the person who is like a drug dealer or an alcoholic. I think it seems to me you hear more about the people who are addicted to substances turning the corner on that and putting that behind them than people who are into kids or any type of sex addiction. Faces up to 20 years in prison. Thank God that they caught him. According to a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office of Arkansas, Josh allegedly downloaded the illegal material, some of which involves kids under the age of 12, from the internet in May of 2019. This gives you an idea of how long it takes to investigate someone. And if you're a guy like him, you download that material. Has he just been thinking, well, I downloaded it and I haven't heard from the feds, so I guess I'm safe. So he was lulled into a sense of, he kind of probably had some false confidence that he was going to get away with this. He was arrested on Thursday. During Friday's Zoom hearing, Josh pleaded not guilty to both counts. How can you possibly plead not guilty to both counts if it's found in your possession? There'll be a hearing on Wednesday of this week. He needs to live in a home without minors if a bond is granted. 6 kids, 1 on the way, age 11 and under. Man, if you're the wife, what does she know about this? I mean, is this all a surprise to her? Why does it always seem like the ultra-religious people are involved in some of the most heinous acts on the planet? Remember Mike Ballio? John Ballio, the guy who was on the religious station that I mentioned not long ago, CSG, and the shit that he was involved in. My God. Incredible. Frickin' O'Neill is having a massive dream. I don't know if you can hear this. Makes the funniest noises. Woof, woof. His legs are like running in place while he's sound asleep. What could they possibly be dreaming about? All right. Speaking of people misbehaving in Grand Rapids here, this is for a lot of you like, I don't. Let me get you up to speed. Oh man, he looks so young and fresh faced too. Oh God, did he fuck up? Come on, man. You know, if I'm going to sit here and bust Joel Jones for being a piss-ass drunk, I'm going to have to bust State Representative Brian Posthumus. He doesn't live far from here. He's one of our state representatives. Unlike Joel Jones, though, who when he got busted for drunk driving, Posthumus seems to be owning it. Joel Jones is like, I'm going to call Gretchen Whitmer on you. I'm going to call your boss. What's your badge number? Posthumus appears to be saying the right things, but boy, is he a dickhead. This is not the first time he's gotten popped for this. Shit-faced drunk. Rolled his car Friday night. He was leaving his family's farm in Oakfield Township. He lost control of the Jeep, hit a mailbox, roll over. He's fine. They arrested him on suspicion of operating while intoxicated. He was taken to the Kent County Correctional Facility. They tested his blood before he was taken to the hospital. He was hammered, .13. And then this, quote, I am deeply disappointed in myself for putting other people in jeopardy. Good start. That's the first thing you're talking about others. That's good. By driving after drinking alcohol, Posthumus said in the news release. There is no excuse for what happened. That's good. That's 2 points. You're off to a great start. 1, 2. There is no excuse for what happened. And I take full and complete responsibility for my actions. To my family, friends, colleagues, and constituents who I serve, I sincerely apologize and ask forgiveness. Well, I don't even know if I would say sorry. Honestly. Sorry is if I were him, I would say, I'm going to apologize in actions rather than words. And I think he is. But I guess, but let's be honest here. If he hadn't gotten caught, he'd still be driving drunk. This is a great thing that he got caught, because he might be able to live to fight another day. And then people won't get killed when he's driving. That's the big takeaway here. He has done this before. Also arrested for an operating while intoxicated in January of 2013. The release said, Posthumus said it's clear he has a drinking problem, and he will immediately begin attending AA. All right. This is one of those things where if you aren't yet at your rock bottom, the rock bottom will find you. So, okay. Here's the thing about AA. You're all full of emotion, and you can't wait to start, and you're ready to turn your life around. It's when you get 2 months in that when you have to stay plugged in. So I certainly hope he does, and I hope to see you at a meeting. He says, I am grateful that no one else was injured because of my mistake. I will work very hard to regain the trust, respect, and support of my loved ones, my fellow state representatives, and the wonderful citizens in my district. Yeah, baby steps, man. I think that's you're putting a lot on your plate there. If it were me, I'd be stepping down immediately. If you were serious about your sobriety, you'd probably have to step down because you can be focused on your sobriety with all these different irons in the fire. Honestly, maybe down the road, but oh boy, good luck, buddy. You can do it. I like that he came clean, was honest about it. That's a start. He won election in November of 2020. He's a member of prominent West Michigan political family. He's the son of former Michigan Lieutenant Governor Dick Posthumus and the brother of Kent County Clerk Lisa Posthumus Lyons. You might remember her from the video when her husband freed the deer that were stuck together. Remember that? They were stuck together in the river. And Lisa Posthumus Lyons' husband got like a fucking saw and sawed the antlers, and the deer go, thank you. Yeah, your brother needs to get his shit together. Good news, though, he's doing better than Jewel Jones. If you had to compare State Representative Jones to State Representative Posthumus, Posthumus scoreboard. He leads by owning what he did wrong. He is a complete and utter fuck up, but we all are. Congratulations. Welcome to my team of lovable drunks. I hope you work very hard at it and pick a good sponsor. All right. But should you step down? Absolutely. I think you should. I think any of these drunks that get popped can't be serious about their sobriety unless they focus on their sobriety. Just my personal opinion. Okay. This was the weekend for this.
Mangeloon fighting for the front. Medina Spirit battles on. Hot Rod Charlie on the outside. Essential Quality on the far outside. The four of them heading to the finish in the Kentucky Derby. Here's the wire. Bob Baffert does it again. Medina Spirit has won the Kentucky Derby. Mangeloon was second. Hot Rod Charlie was third. Right. Essential Quality was fourth. 2:01:02 the final time. Bob Baffert stands alone with 7 Derby wins.
Okay, now I don't know what it means when they say 12-1 odds, but that's an underdog, I guess. I have no idea. I don't gamble in any way, shape, or form. But that was this horse kind of came out of nowhere. Medina Spirit is the name of this one. And Bob Baffert is the dude with the white hair and the sunglasses, and he's won 7. He trains horses. He's the guy with the stopwatch. Come on, Seabiscuit, let's go. And the jockey is some dude. I think this is his 4th win. But Baffert is no stranger to winning the Kentucky Derby. And this year, this horse is one that came in kind of. No one knew this horse. This horse actually was purchased with little fanfare. He was sold for the minimum of $1,000. Somebody bought this horse that just won the Kentucky Derby for $1,000. Some breeder by the name of Christy Whitman. And she then resold the colt to a guy named Gary Young, who's what's known as a bloodstock agent. No idea. I guess that means you breed them or whatever. He realized that the horse had some potential because of the horse's bloodlines. So then the horse was purchased for $35,000, which still is not a lot for a horse. To some guy named Amir Zadan at some sale who and then they hired Baffert. They said, "What do you think? Can you train this horse?" "Yeah, sure, I can do that." They bring the horse in, and sure enough, wire to wire, this thing takes off like a bat out of hell. I love the Kentucky Derby. Side note, when I was driving Limo, I parked the car right across the street from this theater downtown called Studio Park, and on the outside of it, they got this enormous screen. So I was able to actually watch the race. And there was a dude, and they got like outdoor venue. People got drinks or hanging out watching the thing. All of a sudden, halfway through the race, I'm across the street watching. You can see it clearly because of the size of the screen. I cannot hear the announcer, but you hear, "Come on, come on." And I see a guy in the distance in front of the screen. He stands up and he's like got his hands on his head. And then he's sitting there screaming and yelling. And sure enough, Medina Spirit crosses the finish line. And he's like, "Yes, and he loses his mind. So this guy, no doubt, bet on the long shot and won the fucking thing. So God knows how much money that dude won. But here in the great state of Michigan, of course, you can bet on all this stuff now. So that's awesome. Very cool. That's your winner. This is the only time I care about horse racing for these races. And the big one is the Kentucky Derby. They did it last time. They didn't do it last year in May because of the pandemic. They did it in September and nobody was there, so it sucked. This year, they're like, come on, let's do 50,000. Let's pack them into that 51. More than 50,000 people there. It's like the largest gathering of people since the pandemic started. Nobody gives a shit anymore. Everybody's like, come on, let's pack it in. We don't care. Whatever. COVID is a complete disaster, though, in India. Yeah, like 400,000 a day are getting it, and nearly 4,000 a day are dying. It's remarkable. You're seeing doctors pleading for someone to bring them oxygen. They've got basically, if someone's about to die and they have no oxygen, the docs are saying, here's a tank. Go get this filled for your loved one. And people are carrying it like a football, running around the streets looking for oxygen. Apparently, that's a thing. Oh, my God. Absolutely horrible. But, all right. So there you go. That's my PSA for the day. Go get vaccinated, Dirk. Probably not a chance. All right. I've just not been paying enough attention to you guys. Chris says, I'm getting itchy. Kenny says, I think Eric needs some Benadryl. Yes. It's actually not as bad as it was early on in the podcast. I'll tell you what, I try to do a podcast with every inch of your body itching like crazy. Jason says, Biden banned travel from India. Wasn't Trump called a racist when he started banning travel? Yes, he was. He absolutely was. That was, you know what? I will say that I did not call him a racist. I was like, fuck that. That's a great move. So let the record state that no one's a racist when you block travel from whatever country because everybody is sick there. Tom with the funky cold Medina joke. Thank you. All right. Kenny says you're making us all think we're itchy. Yeah, I can understand that because I haven't been able to stop. Do you remember the time when my head was itching? For like 5 days straight on the radio. I think my head was itching. By the way, on this week's Lost Zane recordings for Monday, the episode that I released today was it was July 5th, 2016. July 4th was a Monday. The plan was to have a family reunion up north with my dad at what was then his place. And this was the time he fell off the 14-foot ladder and broke nearly every bone in his body. So the Lost Zane recordings is because then we didn't obviously go up north. He was airlifted to another hospital, a bigger hospital, and in Saginaw, and we had to drive there. And boy, that was rough, man. In surgery, there was a worry about him and bleeding internally. We could very well have lost him from that, but that's covered extensively on the Lost Zane recordings on Patreon. I put a Freeview up. Excuse me. At the usual spot for all the free podcasts, and you can check that out. I talk a little bit about that. Okay. I need to tell you about what might have been the funniest incident to date involving the NFK. My brother-in-law, No Filter Kevin. This is not a gross story. Usually, if it is involving him, it is a gross story. But this, my God, and this is pretty short and sweet, but you're not going to believe it. So Diana and him are going to go to the grocery store yesterday. He's going to take a break from the 13 to 14 hours of television a day and venture out with her. By the way, if you ever see me at the store, be on the lookout for the NFK. He'll be the one with his shirt tucked in to his pants pulled up to his tits with the belt cinched tight. It looks like the hunka cheese guy with the gray skin. That's him. All right. They decide to go to the store. They're getting ready to go, and they're in the kitchen. I'm getting ready to take the dogs for a walk. Now, I'm wearing clothing that is making Diana laugh at me and be disgusted. White socks, pulled up like Pistol Pete Maravich. Crocs, red and white checked pants. Looks like a tablecloth at a picnic, and a white T-shirt. So this is horrible. But again, I'm to a point where I just don't care. And I'm going to go walk around the neighborhood with this outfit on, walking 4 dogs. Black Crocs, Pistol Pete socks, red and white checked shorts, and a white T-shirt. I'm standing there. She's standing next to the NFK. She takes a look at me, and she actually looks me up and down, like her head moves up and down, and she's staring down at me, at like my Crocs and my socks. And so she's marveling at how hideous I look. And she's going to take a picture of it. The NFK does not think that she's marveling at how hideous I look. The NFK thinks something different. And he thinks she's looking at my crotch like in a wanton fashion, like she wants to go have sex. That's what's going on in his head. And so she looks to him like, yeah, look at Eric. He looks like an idiot. But he's thinking she's looking at my package. And he says, oh, man. You know, he swears every time with that southern drawl. And I go, what? And she goes, she's a horny little bitch. And I just, oh, my God. And Diana and I both about fell on the floor laughing. I go, no. She goes, no, I was just looking at how ridiculous he looks. He goes, oh, I thought you were just like a horny little bitch. He says it again. I was like, oh, my God, what the fuck? Who says that? Just blurts that out. Talk about his sister being a horny little bitch. The fuck? Oh, my God. Knocked me over with a feather. Ridiculous. And right away, I grabbed my phone. The note under talk about horny little bitch. Incredible. Oh my God. Absolutely amazing. So glad that he said that. That's why we call him No Filter Kevin. I'd love to have that on a t-shirt. One of his catchphrases needs to be put on a t-shirt. I reached out to Jericho, who comes up with the t-shirt designs, and I go, hey, I want to put you on like a retainer every month, and then I'll give you like a couple of t-shirt designs each week. What do you say? So it's like I pay you every month, and then if I get an idea, I share it with you. You come up with the design, and then that's it. Okay, that sounds great. I'll get back with you. Did he get back with me? No. Story of my life. Get a t-shirt, ericzaneshow.com. Click on merch for any one of my t-shirt designs. I would love you to be wearing an Eric Zane Show podcast t-shirt. Horizon Hydroponics invite you to check out their website, horizonhydroponics.com, HORIZEN, hydroponics.com. If you're growing anything, indoors, outdoors, whatever it may be, fertilizers, soils, extra additives to make your growing adventure that more fruitful, tents, lights, anything you need is at horizonhydroponics.com. You can buy from anywhere in the USA. Orders $250 and over. The shipping is free. Coupon code ZaneShow at checkout. That will save you 10%. They got 4 brick and mortar locations too: Alpine and Grand Rapids, the Growers Outlet in Byron Center, Kalamazoo, and Lansing. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage says, hey, call upon us if you need a mortgage. You can get one in the twos right now. They are going to go up eventually. So don't wait on this. It's time for a refi, especially if you've got a 30-year fixed and you think you can swing the extra money to pay that off that much quicker. You will save thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars if you decrease the term to 15 years. Think about that. Some of you might be like, Zane, there's no way, man. I got to get a 15-year. That's fine, too. But you're going to improve your credit score if you're paying on time. So whether you're you have a great credit score or a terrible credit score, Mario can handle anything. 231-332-6505. Now, for some of you, it's not going to work, depending on the state that you're calling from. Make sure you tell Mario right away what state you're calling from. For some of you, it might be like, oh, yeah, I'm calling from Florida. Yep, you're good. Mario can service you for a loan. Other states like Maine, it's not going to work. 231-332-6505 or find them on their website. Just click on the emerald green Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage logo at ericzaneshow.com. All right. Kevin says, yep, I'm trying to grow some really tall tomatoes. Chris says, have you cellos become a sponsor so you can make a shirt that says what he said about the breadsticks. I love them sons of bitches. It's either sons of bitches or sons of bitches. You know what? I should probably get Diana on here to talk about that moment. If she sees it's ringing, she's going to know exactly what's up. She's in the classroom. Hang on. Come on. Hold on a second. Let me write this. If you can, run to the break room and call me, period. I want to talk about yesterday's amazing comment, period. Turn the ringer on. Ready to go. When she calls, that'll be funny. I love them sums of bitches. It's only some when you say some bitch, Kenny says. All right. Here we go. Next thing on the agenda. Did you see the story that happened at the Arizona Diamondbacks baseball game? This was awesome. You got a dude, young guy, probably 23 years old, on a date, some hot chick. They're sitting there at the Arizona Diamondbacks baseball game, minding their own business. A guy who goes by @BuckArmy tweets at the Diamondbacks, hey, my roommate is on a date 6 rows above home plate. Any chance we could tell the cameraman to zoom out a bit so I can see how it's going? Diamondbacks respond. What's he wearing? Now we are curious. And they tagged the production team that puts the game on, Bally Sports Arizona. Oh, yeah, he's wearing a red D-back spring training shirt, and I think the girl is wearing green. I really hope he didn't lie about his seats. It's just funny that there's a dialogue going on. Arizona Diamondbacks say, hate to break it to you, but we cannot find your friend. BuckArmy writes, can we try the M? Try M, section F. Red shirt with the girl wearing green. And then he actually shows like a seat locator or something like that. Third base side, it says. Third base side. The Arizona Diamondbacks post a GIF that says, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. In fact, I should probably put this on the screen share. That would be fun. So the Diamondbacks indicate that they've located the dude. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him, they say. And then dude writes, go on, ha, ha, ha. Diamondbacks report, body language looks good. They seem comfortable. They just laugh, too. Stay tuned for more. Buck Army says, I love you guys. Diamondbacks, they're getting up, so we're losing eyes on the subjects. Bally Sports Arizona weighs in. We're invested in this now. Keep the updates coming. Arizona Diamondbacks, short time after, says, they're back. Buck Army posts screaming, yes, baby, gif. God, look at that kid. Arizona Diamondbacks say, do they know? They're laughing at something on his phone. Buck Army says, we're in trouble. He posts the screenshot from friend whose name is M. Bone. Ha, 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 ha. You're an asshole. Diamondbacks then post picture of the couple on the big screen. Look at this. This is them. This guy is going to get so much puss. Oh, this is awesome. Dude rose, ha, 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 yes. Arizona Diamondbacks say, you're welcome. Seattle Mariners are now weighing in with a gif of a baseball player saying, this brought us joy at D-backs. Fantastic works, and everybody's involved. Thanks, Mariners. It's not every day you get to play Cupid. Buck Army says, I love you guys. Diamondback says, this has been super enjoyable for us too, so thank you. 7th inning update. They seem to be having a great time. Can you imagine if it said, he's sniffing his fingers right now, and she's looking very satisfied. Buck Army says, please say hi. Diamondback say, but the question on everyone's mind, is there going to be a third date? That's not the question on everyone's mind. The questions on everyone's mind is he going to end up TFing her? That makes me sad that my daughter's going to listen to this. Jackie, don't ever repeat these jokes. Stay away. Just if there's ever a nasty joke, it didn't happen. Some guy weighs in. Love everything about this. I think looks wise. They pair up well. He's showing just enough thigh. Hat was aggressive and wrong. Now that we looked at it, because a hat says something like about I'm shy. Yeah, camera shy. Look at them. They look adorable. She's got the phone case with the lemons. Her drink. Diana says she can't. She's teaching math. This kid's clearly not wearing the mask appropriately. She's got no mask at all. In Arizona, I don't give a shit. He's got a drink. Look at this guy. This guy's got a lot of comorbidities. There's no way this guy should not be. He shouldn't even be there. He's taking up 2 seats. This chick is like, what have I gotten myself into? This lady's doing math homework or something like that. Incredible. Diamondbacks say we got the couple of game-used baseballs to remember the occasion. If this isn't their photo on Instagram by tonight, I'm upset. And the real winner tonight, they showed a picture of them. And then the message is shared to the chick. Will there be a third date? And she says, I can confirm there will be a third date. May need to talk to my roommate about boundaries going forward, but in all seriousness, thank you guys. Okay, this is the dude who did the whole thing. And the roommate, the guy, said, yeah, we're going to have a third date. This is great. So that's it. Really, really funny story. It kind of just unfolded for the world during the weekend. That's crazy. Not so good is this story about asking someone out, kind of in the same, that couple. And then you got another story in Minnesota where a young kid was trying to get a date for prom, So I guess it's similar in that nature only. But the similarity ends there with the rest of this story. Of course, this happened in Minnesota. The home of Derek Chauvin and the other frickin' thing that's going on there with the kid that was shot by the cop who's like, oh my God, I'm using a taser. I'm a taser, kablamo. Of course this happens in Minnesota, the new racist capital of the United States. Some kid at a school, Big Lake High School in Minnesota, did his promposal, where you make a big deal about asking somebody out to prom. And it's just staggering to me that someone would, think this is a good idea when you're alone and writing out the sign, and then take a picture with the sign with the girl after she says yes. But this stupid asshole, I'll be able to share it with you so you can see this. This stupid asshole, on his sign, he wrote, "If I was black, isn't it supposed to be if I were black? If I was black, I'd be picking cotton. But I'm white, so I'm picking you. Prom?" Oh, my God. What the fuck? So these two sitting there, all smiles, all happy, not a care in the world. They don't give a shit about anything. Why are their faces blurred out? I understand the whole deal. If you're under 18, you can't. Oh, fuck that. Show their faces, put their names. It completely docks these people. There is just no place in the world for anything like this. I have had it with white people ruining it for everyone. My God. Like wildfire, the photo circulated on social media. What the hell? Sadly, former students of the school told the local news station that they're far from surprised regarding the behavior. That's a product of the environment, like the school procedures. So I guess this is a thing. These people are people who I've interacted with, I know personally. A Big Lake School District spokesman released a statement saying the usual shit, we're not doing anything. This isn't us. We don't condone this. Can you imagine? I mean, I cannot even begin to think how fucking incensed I would be if I had a kid, if Jim was, or if my daughter, or whatever, it doesn't matter, was standing in front of a sign like that saying, yeah, hey, this is good. Yeah, come on. What did I do wrong? But that there's no way that the parents of these scum Minnesota kids are not like this. This was taught from an early age. This is absolutely disgusting. This is the reason why racist it takes so long to die. If you think about the schematic of racism in this country, every generation it's a little less, I believe, but it's going to take so many more generations because these two will have racist kids. So there's that. But my God. God bless the ones that buck the trend, that have the racist parents and don't go on to become racist. But these two pieces of shit, oh my God, their lives should be over. No chance of recovery on this one. My God, horrible. Very, very rough. Hey, I want to hear from you. If you own a business, reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I would love to promote your business on the podcast. I just added Dumpster Divers. Thank you to them. You'll be hearing more about them in the coming weeks. But if you want more information about how it works, just reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. TC Paintball. We are 13 days from Paintball War number 14. I wonder how Rick did. I reached out to him. He was, last I heard, you know what? I don't want to call him. Because if he had kicked ass, he would have reached out to me. Last I heard, he was waiting on. I think they were like 1-1 in the preliminaries or something like that. He was going to Florida. We are 1-1 after 2 preliminary matches. We won 5-1 and lost 3-4. We have 2 more tomorrow for a total of 4 preliminary matches. We are in good shape and playing well. 1-1 or 2-0 tomorrow will get us to the semifinals. That was the last I heard of him. Heard from him, I should say. So I'm concerned if I just reach out to him and say, hey, how'd you do? Yeah, we sucked. And then he's all pissed off for the day. So I'll just wait on that. It's a veteran move right there. Anyway, I want to hear from you regarding the Paintball War number 14. Reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, whether or not you are coming So don't wait on that. Stop what you're doing right now and send me the email. We've got about 11, 12 people. I need more. I would love to have 20 plus. So send along the information, eric@ericzaneshow.com. I need the head count. I'd love to know. It gives me anxiety when I know that we're lean, okay? I don't want to be lean. eric@ericzaneshow.com is going to set you back $35. It's Sunday, the 16th of May, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pizza party from BC Pizza on Lake Michigan Drive in Grand Rapids. And that's to get it started, and then off we go. TC Paintball in Grand Rapids, Michigan. All right. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Love you so much. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. 616-532-6600 for my friends at Irvine's. If you are in West Michigan or even remotely close, this is who you need to call upon to get your vehicle repaired, okay? Thank you so much to them. It's a quick, painless process for any issue at all. To keep your car on the road appropriately and safely, reach out to Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. Okay, got a couple of Eric Zane Show podcast emails of the day. If you ever want to reach out to me about something, if you are catching up on the podcast, like you're a few episodes behind or whatever, and you think, oh, he's probably not even talking about it right now. No, I love going back, and I love the correspondence. I love knowing that I was able to pull something out of you. So do not be a stranger on anything I say in the podcast. Cole from beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado writes this. He just sent this in earlier today, in fact. Hey, Zane, just wanted to touch on a few topics from the last couple of weeks. First of all, I wanted to touch on you asking why radio does not discuss hot button issues anymore. I think all radio is afraid to get canceled, so they don't even bother. No. I think what they're afraid of is because the world is so polarized now, most radio people do not have the ability to say how they feel and not frame it in a way that is not offensive. Like, I talk all the time. I say the most offensive shit in the world about masks, and I say, this is just my opinion, and I respect yours. I think you're wrong, but that's how I do it, at least, and it seems to work. Most do not want to roll those dice. Okay, they either they don't know how, or they don't have the balls to do it. Frankly, that's it. That's the only reason why it doesn't happen. He thought it was canceling, though. He says, look at the guy in Buffalo that the show was talking about toast for his skin color. He lost his job and his job at the Sabres for a bit that wasn't offensive or funny. No, it was offensive. It was a very offensive bit. And any radio idiot that doesn't know that and still rolls dice like that is just stupid. All radio people know the playing field. And no, you can't compare the color of people's skin to fucking toast, you asshole. Is it a funny joke? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think it was funny at all. Could you have gotten away with that in the past? Probably. Do I really think someone should be fired for it? No. But you have to understand what environment you're in. And if you don't realize that, then you're going to get fired. But the guy who lost the gig with the Sabres and University of Buffalo, he didn't even say it. He just was in the room. That's what the problem was with that, and that's just radio in general. It's just stupid. He says maybe the Sabres should focus on winning hockey games instead of worrying about their radio guy not being funny. Well, I don't know. You know how it is. Speaking of radio, Cole writes, I don't know how many of your listeners listen to Free Beer and Hot Wings, but I still do, he writes. He says, they've been playing a lot of the old bits with you in them. Baseball palindromes, Hot Wings reading Naive or whatever it was. And the Royal Wedding all recently made appearances. He says, it's good stuff. And to me, it's been so long since you were on that show that those old bits almost feel like a collaboration. No, I have nothing to do with that. And speaking of collaborations, you did awesome on Who Are These Podcasts? Thank you. You're a perfect fit with that show. They need to have you on every few weeks. I could tell you were nervous when the show started, but once you got rolling, it was gold. Good job, Zane. Thank you. Chad Zumach's response to you, not so good. He and the other clown tried too hard to act like they didn't know who you were when obviously they spent a lot of time researching you. I'd say that Twitter exchange you had with a guy defending Zumock was almost 100% Zumock himself, just like you thought. He should have either went right after you or completely ignored you. The half-ass way he did it, in my opinion, makes him look like a pussy. He is a pussy. And I think he's got a substance abuse issue, if you want my opinion, and a confidence issue. How have you never shot Tannerite at Fear Bunker North? Get yourself some and try it out. No, I don't want to do that. You'll have a good time, just like everything else in life. Don't be a dumbass, and you'll be fine. The people that die using it, they're dumbasses. No, I don't want to use it. I don't ever want to experiment with explosives. He concludes with few last things. T-shirt idea, your logo with the phrase, I'll fight you in the street, maybe. Any chance you'll do the Talking Hockey show again? Yes. When you were interviewing players last year, I really like those. And finally, I have another Insane Asylum list. I think it's a good one. Yeah, he's had some good success. Cole in Colorado Springs. He's including In Excess, Suicide Blonde. No, I don't think we're going to play that. But there's a lot of good songs there. Thank you, Cole. I have one more email of the day. It is from Allison. Allison, of course, she's the operations director, one of my favorite organizations, Harbor Humane, in West Olive, Michigan, Ottawa County. This is concerning the Catholic take. Some people wanted me to talk about Joe Biden and the whole Catholic take. Now the bishops are getting together and saying, hey, he can't take communion. And everyone's like, why? It's like, well, he's a commander-in-chief, actively supporting abortion, and he's a Catholic. We can't, it doesn't work. It flies in the face of everything that one of the biggest things that are tenets of the entire faith, if we're going to be telling people who are divorced or gay that they can't take communion, well, this is right up there. This falls right in line. Allison heard that. She says, hey, Eric, listening to the podcast, thank you for the detailed explanation of Catholicism and communion. Not going to lie. Even though I grew up Catholic, I did not know most of that. Excuse me. She's referring to, no doubt, the transformation of the unconsecrated host to the body of Christ, becoming the actual body of Christ, and to the wine becoming the precious blood. Catholics believe that, and not all Catholics believe that. Some might just tell you that, or they might dodge the question. But, and you probably think I'm crazy to even say this. I've said it before. But the key point in the Mass, when those holy words are said, those hosts and the wine become the body and blood of Christ. Like, it's actually it. You don't see it. You don't taste it. But that's what we believe. That is the faith. And there are people it just doesn't compute. And I understand that. And that's one of the great mysteries of the faith. You have to consider supernatural things in religion. You realize that, don't you? So many people in the world with different denominations. Every single one of them have a supernatural element. If you're going to look someone in the face and say, "Oh yeah, well I believe this, but not that," well, whatever one you're believing is loaded with supernatural elements to it, all over the place. If you believe in Christianity, you believe that Jesus rose from the dead, walked on water, loaves, fishes, fed the masses, blind can see, Lazarus rise up, all these things. Immaculate conception. These are all miracles. So don't look at me like I've got 3 heads. This is all stuff you believe too, or don't believe. Doesn't matter to me. Judaism, Islam, loaded with miracles. We're all chock full of miracles. So anyway, that's what I was describing to her. And she was like, I didn't even know that. So from an educational standpoint alone, it was very enlightening. And then I appreciate your take on Joe Biden potentially no longer being allowed to receive communion. As someone currently outside of that faith, it really didn't sit well with me. And honestly, it still doesn't. But I value your take as a practicing Catholic and respect it very much, even if I might not agree. I do have some better understanding of the logic behind it as you explain things in reference to church doctrine and priest requirements to withhold communion if they have knowledge of sin. I'm sure this will come as no surprise to you, but I'm pro-choice. And while our politics and opinions may differ, I really appreciate you making the point that you are pro-life across the board, be it an unborn baby or a criminal being unjustly gunned down by the cops. She says, I'm paraphrasing here, but I think it was the general sentiment. Yeah. If there's a guy behind bars who's raped 25 kids and murdered 10 families and blew up the federal building, all the same guy, it doesn't matter who, that guy should not be put to death. And the only reason why I say that is because it's above the pay grade of humans. There is only one who can decide on life or death. That's how I feel about it. She concludes, because I know too many people whose staunch value of human life seems to stop at birth. So she's talking about someone who says, yeah, we got to end abortion, but put the bad guys to death. No, nobody gets put to death. You don't kill anyone. There's no assisted suicide. There's no abortion. There's no putting criminals to death. None of that shit. I guess what I'm trying to say is, any difference aside, I respect the hell out of you and really admire your compassion for others. Thanks for always being you, Eric. Signed, Allison. Allison, that's perfect. Well done. Well thought. I appreciate the words. If you ever have an opinion about something, don't be afraid. Don't be a pussy and don't share it with me. Let me know. It's okay. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. All right. Today, I am going to start the Patreon at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you are hearing this and you have Kenny's email and text, send it now to him. We got to make sure Kenny knows that it's in with his schedule, okay? And then maybe if he's not comfortable with that, maybe he can tell me a different start time. Because we all want Kenny to know. And we all want to make sure that it's on Kenny's schedule. And whether, it's because on this show, it's been well documented. Kenny is frustrated with the random start times. So we switched to a regular start time. And that was just a horrible thing for him. So we just don't know what to do with him. So everybody within the sound of my voice, hey, Siri. Oh, hold on. Hey, Siri.
Uh-huh.
Text Commanda.
Which one? Amanda Dildo or Commanda Kenny?
Commanda Kenny.
What do you want to say?
Hello, Mr. High Maintenance. Period. We are starting the fucking Patreon at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Period. I'm letting you know so that there isn't a crybaby festival in the comments. Period. I want everyone to text you repeatedly that I am doing this. Period. I love you. You are a pain in the ass. Period.
Your message to Commanda says, hello, Mr. High Maintenance. We are starting the fucking Patreon at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm letting you know so that there isn't a crybaby festival in the comments. I want everyone to text you repeatedly that I am doing this. I love you are a pain in the ass. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
Sick and tired of it, man. I can't take it. What are you doing to me, man? What we gonna do? Kenny! No. All right. Asshole of the Day nominees. Hey, Siri.
Mm-hmm.
Read text from Commanda Kenny.
Commanda sent a new message. Thanks for changing my name back, asshole. Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
I keep forgetting to change it. Period. Is that the only thing that you're ticked off about? Question mark.
Your reply to Commanda says I keep forgetting to change it. Is that the only thing that you're ticked off about? Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
No, hell no, it's not the only thing I'm ticked off about. There's plenty of things I'm ticked off about. The start time is not consistent. Now he texts nope, so I guess he's furious. All right, I'll change it right now. No, he says he's not ticked off about anything else. That's good. All right, I'll change it right now. Info. Edit. Okay. High maintenance Kenny. Hey Siri. Hey Siri.
Mm-hmm.
Text high maintenance Kenny.
What do you want to say?
I hope this is good. ... I changed your name and everything looks awesome. Period. It actually is more appropriate. Period.
Your message to High Maintenance Kenny says I hope this is good. I changed your name and everything looks awesome. It actually is more appropriate. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
Okay, that thing buzzed. So, what did you write? I have a new hard-ass supervisor, and we have meetings like crazy now, so I guess I can't participate anymore. Oh, my God, say it ain't so. Daisy, cut it out. Come on. All right, Asshole of the Day nominees. Yeah, I can't give myself a nomination for not being any good with that damn grill. Limo work, anything in there? No. I don't want to give nominations for the fucking White Boy Rick documentary. Josh Duggar. Yeah, you're getting a nomination. Brian Posthumous. You're getting a nomination, but you're not going to be the asshole of the day. The NFK, no. Diamondbacks. How about the racist promposal kid? I think it's a 2-horse race. Racist promposal kid. If I'm not picking cotton, I'm picking you. Versus Josh Duggar, who had kid porno on his computer. What do you think? Raise your virtual hand on the comments. What do you think? Josh Duggar or racist promposal kid? While those votes come in, I'm reminding you, the idea when I started podcasting was free podcast like this. If they like it, they'll contribute cash. But I'm not a donate here button type of guy. A lot of shows do that. I don't. If you're going to give me money, I'm going to give you content. Thus, Patreon was born. So the Patreon is, yes, I'm asking you for money, but the idea is it's to keep the free podcast going. And it's kind of taken on a life of its own with the amount of content that I have on there. With 5 daily podcasts, Lost Zane recordings, Smarter Than with Dale, and Zane Asylum, and Ben and Eric Patreon. And that's kind of like my spot for all the other content. 2 separate things. If you think the podcast is worth it, think about contributing on the show on Patreon, and you'll get that extra content, and you will keep the meter moving, the show growing. Patreon.com/Eric Zane, Patreon.com/Eric Zane. You help the hustle. Thank you so much to everyone who has given in the past and supported me, and continues to do so. And if you've dropped off, come on back. I'd love you to check out the show and how it sounds now. It's different because with that group, There's I don't have to retell stories. It's kind of like a closer knit bunch. It's there's less of a learning curve because everybody's up to date on anything that's going on. You get a lot of insider information too on the Patreon that I don't necessarily share on the free podcast. Just stuff that I would only say behind a paywall that it just has that extra layer of security to it. Last but not least, I just heard from Joe Martinez. Okay, here's what's going on from A&E Heating and Cooling. For here on out, for the air conditioning tune-ups, it's $79. Okay, that's still an incredibly low price. If you need a new AC installing the Comfort Maker brand of air conditioners and furnaces, with the install, he is going to install for free the Remy Halo into your system. That's the device that I described as it cleans the air in your home of microbes, any pathogens, bacteria, viruses, including COVID. That's the device that restaurants put into their systems to keep, the air clean in their restaurants so that people don't get sick. I have one installed. Several of the audience members have one installed. They're dirt cheap if you get them from Joe, but it's like a $600 or $700 value. It's well worth it if you just get it installed because it keeps you safe in your home. But Joe is going to, it's dirt cheap to run, I should say, but Joe is going to install it for you and give it to you for no cost when you decide to hire him to do a new air conditioning install. All right. Let this be the year that you upgrade the AC or actually install one. Improve the value of your home, increase it with central air conditioning from A&E Heating and Cooling. 616-516-8579. 616-516-8579. Call Joe. Sorry, Daisy. Thought I just ran over a paw. All right. The asshole of the day. This segment is brought to you by my friends at TC Paintball. A lot of letters. You know how many of my businesses have started with letters? You got A&E Heating and Cooling, A&D Cleaning, JM Synthetics, and TC Paintball to go with BC Pizza. My God. What do you guys think? Josh Duggar or racist promposal idiot? Kate says the pedo. Another vote for Duggar. Chris says it's a tie. Nick says both. Shelly says Josh. I don't know what's going on with that. Josh D. I haven't been paying attention, so I don't know. Asshole of the day, Brian D. Duggar. Yeah, it's got to be a Duggar thing, right? Someone says both. Yeah, I don't want to do that too much. You got to have a clear-cut winner. Oh, I get it. Josh Duggar. That's why it said Josh. I thought you were referring to Josh Brown, our very own Josh Brown, who watches the show live. Yes, Josh Duggar is your winner. He has to be. Criminal. I mean, the racists are bad. I mean, that's terrible. But this is harming children, for God's sake. This guy has not learned his lesson. Also, honorable mention. Okay, so honorable mention goes to the racist kid. You also have a nomination in Brian Posthumous. I'm not going to give him an honorable mention because he gets a chance to try to fix it, and hopefully he will. But that was absolute horseshit. But he should absolutely step down too. You need to be worried about your freaking sobriety. Not if you can't even manage your own sobriety, how can you represent people? You can't. So get that step down immediately. So should that Jewel Jones. Get the hell out of there, jackass. Okay. Hey, I want to see you on Patreon. I'll be there at 11 a.m. Everyone text Kenny. 11 a.m. Send him a text every minute if you can that the podcast starts at 11 a.m. That would be awesome. I don't know, man. That's not a good time for me. What we gonna do? I swear to God, I about fell out of my chair the day after he said, I don't like the inconsistent times. And then I go with a consistent time, and he bitches. My God. All right, folks. Thanks again. Talk to you a little later on. Talk to you in 59 minutes. Till next time, bye-bye.